could do Android programming on my Chromebook.
Thank you, thank you.
We're done.
I hope you enjoyed our Nutcracker version of our talk. It's a little shorter than the Word version, but we'll get to that. We are multitasking this Chromebook, so if there's any slowness, I apologize for that. I'm going to hand it over to Adriana. My name's Emilie Roberts, also known as Drosselmeyer, Uncle Drosselmeyer, and here we go.
And I'm Adriana, also known as Clara. So first things first, why Chromebooks? It's been 10 years since the release of the first Chromebook. And this is the CR48, that was the first Chromebook. And now this is this year's Google's Pixelbook. So things are different. Hashtag 10-year challenge. And we're going to talk about the changes that have happened in the last 10 years. But there are things that remain the same. And one of those things is every feature that Chrome OS brings, it tries to keep its core tenets, which is to be an operating system that is simple, fast, and secure. It might have been thought to be working only for the web ecosystem, but now the story is different. We have a huge amount of form factors that use Chrome OS. And Chrome OS devices have large screens, have keyboards, have pointers, have stylus, have external monitors. And this brings us to whole new things that you can do with this type of devices. And we, as a whole, are experiencing new adventures. First, as users, we want the experience where it doesn't matter the device that we're using, but we want to continue with our tasks. It doesn't matter if we fold the device, if we turn the screen, if we have multiple screens and have a bunch of sizes with different windows, different tasks going on. And we can also start a task on our phone and send it to our computer and vice versa. As developers, that give us a little bit of headaches because it means that we have to deal with different layouts. We have to deal with configuration changes. They are unavoidable. But it also means that we can take advantage of all the different offers that the form factors have to bring users to a unique experience to each device that they have. Luckily, Chromebooks are a really important tool for testing these different interactions in different devices.
So, as some of you, well, hopefully most of you know, Android apps can run on Chrome OS. So on your Chromebooks, you can run basically the entire Android app portfolio, which means instantly, you geometrically increase all the things you can do with your Chromebook. So low latency drawing applications, MIDI DJing, things you can plug in, Netflix, Disney Plus offline mode, games, all sorts of great things you can do on this handy device. It's a great tool for traveling on planes and things like that. And this is a stat from May this past year, that we said at I/O, but people are spending more and more time on Android apps on their Chromebooks, and people are spending more time in Android apps on their Chromebook than they do on a phone. So if people are using the same app on a phone or on a Chromebook, they often spend more time here because you're sitting in front of it using it. And this means your app is probably being run by some people somewhere on Chromebooks already. So you probably want to check out our other talks and documentation about how to make your app look awesome, or talk to us after this talk. But we're not going to talk so much about optimizing for large screens and keyboards during this talk. We're going to talk a lot more about the penguin we saw. And
yeah, basically, as in Clara's dream, this would not be possible without Crostini. And since we announced it last year at I/O, its adoption has been growing and growing, and now it's running in more than 50% of Chromebooks. It opens the doors for you to use IDEs and basically everything that we are used to using on Linux. If you haven't seen it yet, its installation is really easy. It's just a couple of clicks. You go to Chrome OS configuration, Linux, turn on, and that's it. When this is done, this is actually going to download the VM and the Linux container for it to run on top of Chrome OS. So it might take a little while, but when this is done, you get a full terminal. This is a standard Debian device environment, so it means that you can do anything that you're used to doing on a Debian environment. You get Git, you get Vim, you can install all your apps via apt, or there are also a bunch of packages that are on a .deb file, and we'll see an example later. Basically, you can configure your environment as you like it. You can even replace your terminal. Here I have a GNOME terminal with CSH. Also, all the graphical tools that you install are going to be displayed in Chrome OS as if they were running on Chrome OS. So you get a folder that is called Linux app, and you're going to see them on the launcher, easy to find, and you can even pin them down the bottom so that you can access them easier. And finally, the things that the container has access to are controlled by you. By default, they are restricted. So you have to explicitly share files with the container or the devices that you connect. Like here, you connect the phone, you see a notification, and you decide whether you want to share with Linux or not. And that is by design, so that your development environment is secure. Like you can use your devices that have maybe a different level of security there, but all your personal data is separate from it and is protected from anything. Like you can mess up there all you want.
oh, cool. So let's talk about a bit more about what's actually going on in Linux and what we can do with it with some of the apps. You can install basically anything, as Adriana said, that runs on Debian or on other Linux distributions. So we have Visual Studio Code, Android Studio, and we're going to look at some of the other apps that you can run. GIMP photo editor, stuff like that. And web developers love Chromebooks. Even though it's only in beta, Crostini, lots of web developers are using it all the time and are super excited about it. If you want to learn more, you can check out my talk that I did for CDS. It's only 10 minutes. And apparently I only have one shirt and one hairstyle. Oh, at I/O, if you checked out our sandbox booth, as I mentioned, you can install any Linux app. So I was playing around with what can you do with game IDs like Unity and Unreal, and they work. I wouldn't use this for my main, Unity development driver, but just for fun, it's neat to check out. And if you're doing a simple game on the plane, long flight, might be fun. Okay, this is demo time. This is when we're supposed to switch to the other device, but I am just going to hand this over. So you noticed, ooh, that's nice. You noticed Nutcracker playing along. Let me go back to the beginning. So how many, you folks know Nutcracker, right? It says dancing around the office with the penguin, and everyone's like, Nutcracker. And I was like, the Nutcracker, you know, the whole piece, they go like this for like 10 minutes, and they show off the Nutcracker. And I was like, it's a penguin. Anyway, so this is MuseScore. We had some sound underruns because we have 2 Android Studio instances, visual code, and we're running the presentations. But MuseScore is the actual, it's playing the score, which is kind of cool. It's just a Linux app. And we have Visual Studio Code. This is the web server this super advanced web server we're going to look at in a second. Basically, all it does is return the date and time. But for web developers, this is great for quick editing. This is it. And I'm going to peek at my speaker notes because I forget what I'm doing right now. Oh, yeah. So let's actually check out that web server right now. See if it's running. OK, so the server's running just with Node.js. And here we have this incredible server. I think it's 1203, and there goes the seconds ticking down. Great. And you can download Android Studio as mentioned. This is the live Android Studio website. This says download Android Studio for Chrome OS. So there's a Debian installation file, so it's really easy to install on your Chromebook or other things. You download it. We won't walk you through downloading and installing all the dependencies. We already have it installed, which is great. And it is more demo time. All right, so here is I hope you can read the font. We're not going to dig too much into all of this code. This is the Chrome OS navigation demo. It's available on GitHub. And let me actually pull that up. In case you want to check it out. It talks about if you're optimizing your app for large screens. It talks about what you should do with bottom navigation, perhaps on a portrait phone, but when you get to a large screen, you don't want all of those touch targets to be stretched out. So you can check this out if you want. But what we really care about today is if I can run it on my Pixelbook. So you can see that well, maybe you can't see because that's pretty small. In here, I have this script. Let me just clear this. That runs one ABD connect command, ADB connect to our Android container's IP address. So it's the standard ADB connect to the container that's running Android on the Chromebook. And then in Android Studio up here, I have Google Pixelbooks. So if everything goes well, like it always does during live demos, it should be able to build and run right on this device. And installation did not succeed because the device is offline. Okay. Well, there we have it. Let's try it. Let's give it one shot since we're doing live demos here. And I want to show the web server. No. And okay, so it's offline. That's exciting. We're going to continue on with the demo. Sorry. Anyway, you can push it right to the device. You can test it. The cool thing about that is then you can resize right on the device and see how. Well, I guess I could show you. I have the app here. It's not as exciting as pushing it live. Okay, let's move on.
By the way, Emilie mentioned before, well, actually before that, installing Android Studio on a Chromebook is really easy. As we said, as more and more people are finding Chromebooks developer notebooks, a lot of the tools are getting optimized for running on Chromebooks, or at least are conscious that it happens. So now we are like a first-class citizen for Android Studio. You just go to their website and you'll find a link to download the file, and then you just right-click on the file and install with Linux, and that's just how you install any other .deb file, and you'll get Android Studio. But as Emilie mentioned, like she would not use in particular the Pixelbook for development, and that's because like we are also bound by the laws of hardware. So you need a potent hardware to run Android Studio, as I'm sure all of you know. So we have like requirements. It needs at least to have 8 gigs of RAM, 4 gigs of available space, but of course you want more. This is the minimum screen resolution, and Intel i5 or higher. We have a website that has like what devices in specific, but a couple that I can think of is the Lenovo Yoga Book and the Acer Spin something. And then now the web.
Okay, so we might fast forward through some of this. Something I think is particularly cool about having this combination, so being able to do web development and Android development together, is you can build out the web backend and then make your Android app and then test it right on the same device. So I was going to do some live coding on this device, which I think I won't. I think I will cut and paste my cheat here just to get the point across, which is using retrofit. We make a call to that very simple web server that just returns the time and date. And then all this app is this hello world with an extra button added. So when you click it, I use coroutines, launch a global scope, and make a simple web call. We get the date and time, and then we set the date and time. And I'm pretty sure I can't actually demo this live because this is not awake.
By the way, right now Emilie's Pixelbook is on developer mode, but from Chrome version 80, you will be able to push to your Pixelbook device without putting it into developer mode.
All right.
We managed to crash it.
We managed to crash it. All right, so.
It happened to Elon Musk.
In the meantime, we can tell you how cool it is. So, I mean, the other neat thing is when this, usually it works. I was trying to get the phone to do something, and it seems that when you're connecting phone devices, and then you're connecting directly to the container, at this moment, there seems to be an issue, and that was the issue. So I apologize about that. Anyway, what's kind of neat is you can then, if you're offline, so you could be on a plane actually testing your back-end web server and your Android app, how it interacts. But let's just believe me that you press the button, and it queries the local web server, and it works perfectly. Okie dokie, we're almost finished, so Adriana will, or actually, I think I'll demo this. One cool thing, once you have your Linux container set up perfectly, you have your Android Studio set up perfectly, or maybe if you're teaching in a classroom or something and you want to deploy to 20 machines, the exact same setup, in your Linux settings, there is a backup and restore. So you can back up and take a snapshot of the container, set up just how you want with everything installed, and then you can restore that later on, which is pretty handy. And with that, we're going to conclude.
So as we can see, when they work and they're not in front of people, they're just shy, Chromebooks are the good place. There are lots of options, so you get a lot of form factors to choose whatever is better for you. Like we have boxes that you can hook up external monitors. We have laptops, and you can run an Android device on them. So you can develop for Android, web, and Linux on the same device. It's the ultimate travel device. Like they are light, they are comfortable, and you get email, docs, media, entertainment, and Android and web development. You get large screens, so you can work comfortable, multiple monitors. You get keyboard and mouse. You get touch too. You can test configuration changes because you can freeform resize the app. You see also your phone layout, and hopefully you're optimized for large screens apps. And you can test the seamless user journeys that I was talking before. So you can send your app to the phone and back to your computer and see how that works. And you get frequent updates. Your device is going to get new features, be more stable, be more performant as you get updates every 6 weeks.
And poetically, I will talk about how everything's perfect and works perfectly all the time. Not. That was the best joke when I was there. Not. So performance on some of the lower ends, especially fanless devices, we're finding when you're using really CPU-heavy stuff, like Android Studio is, thermal throttling is real, so it can slow down, especially if you have like 2 or 3 instances of Android Studio. On this device, it's not the best. As soon as you get a fan in there and a 15-watt processor, not so bad. If you're not familiar with the command line, that can be daunting. There's lots of magic Chrome OS has done, so you can, Debian one-click installers, there's little launchers and everything, but you're likely to run into the command line, which is great. It's an adventure for all. There's a bit of an app gap between some more popular operating systems in Chrome OS, though there is Android apps on Chromebooks, which is cool and starts to balance that out. And now Linux apps, so there you have it. Crostini features are a work in progress. There was no Crostini emoji, only a baguette. So things are coming. As you saw, connecting to phones sometimes messes up your other connections. My opinion on frequent updates sometimes is like, please stop updating everything. Please stop breaking everything. So it's good. It's bad. It's all the things. And with that, this is a link to some documentation we have about getting your Chromebook set up for Linux development, Android development, web development, game development, if you want to play around with that. And I am Emilie Roberts, aka Drosselmeyer.
I'm Adriana Jara.
And that's all. Thanks a lot for your time.